Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Adrienne. We're going to do a nice hippie, meaning like addressing the hips, yoga flow today. We'll also do a lot of longer holds. So just mentally prepare yourself for that if that is out of your comfort wheelhouse, which is a great thing. So it's a good thing you're here. So before we start moving, get started, I'm going to encourage you to take a second to scurry around your apartment and grab any pillows, blankets, maybe a stack of books or blocks. But yeah, if you are having super tight hips, hamstrings, it's really, really nice to have pillows to put underneath the legs just to prop you up. And they're comfy, so it's not like you have something sharp jutting into your muscles and bones and tendons as you're trying to relax into something that's a little uncomfortable. So once you have those items secured, you're just going to lay back on your mat. For people that are feeling tighter or have anything going on with their low back, I would invite you to grab pillows, blankets, blocks, whatever, and place those items underneath your knees. So we'll just start out like that. I hope that you can see me. I'm just kind of smushing pillows underneath my legs and allowing the legs to spread out long in front of me. And then I will just flop back. And you can allow, again, the knees to be super bent. Arms can rest wherever is comfortable. For me, that's the middle of the chest. My elbows on the ground. Some people like to have the arms far from the body. Just try and get comfortable. And maybe you release the eyelids and close the eyes. And we'll start just by trying to draw the attention to the breath and to the body, just to harness the attention. Give us something to focus on that's personal and central and physical, because that's a nice distraction from all the other assorted distractions we have flying around in the brain. So check in with the pace of your breath and the quality of your breath. And see if maybe a little bit more ease is possible. Maybe you can lengthen the breath, meaning the chest and belly rise for a longer period of time, and then fall over a longer period of time as you exhale. Maybe you allow yourself to make noise while you breathe. You sigh. Bring your attention to points of the body that are touching the floor beneath you right now. Scanning from the back of the head, shoulder blades, pelvis, the thighs, the glutes. Maybe if you're without pillows, you feel backs of the legs as well. Right now I have some nice cushion disrupting contact there, but still, how does it feel to have those parts of the body cushioned? Soft. And finally, heels and the outer edges of the feet. And backtracking, the elbows, the wrists and the backs of the hands. The weight of bones and the mass of your body. softening into all of the surfaces below you. And the surfaces are buoying you up. I'll take 3 breaths at our own pace. Just to settle in. And cement our intention to practice some yoga right now. So once you're ready to move on, we gradually bring movements into the outer limits of the body. So fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Bending the elbows, raising the arms overhead, and stretching. Oh. You're awakening from a good night's sleep. Or a midday nap. But it was good, whatever it was. And then, if you had some cushions beneath the knees, maybe move them out of the way. And bend the knees, placing the soles of the feet on the ground. Allow the knees to knock in and touch one another. And the soles of the feet creep out towards the edges of the mat. Soles of the feet are away from each other. And continue or resummon your attention back to the breath. And now reevaluate the sensations of the points of the bodies now making contact with the floor in this new position. Is this more or less comfortable? Is your immediate reaction to that comfort or increased discomfort one of aversion? See if you can back out of that type of panicked reaction by breathing evenly. Next, we'll allow both legs still bent, feet still placed on the floor. We'll allow both legs to drape over to the right. So the inner edge of the left foot is making contact with the ground, and the outer edge of the right foot makes contact with the ground. The outer edge of the right leg might make contact with the ground. So your legs are taking the shape of it's 2 little arrows going towards the right. If you feel any discomfort on that left knee due to the inward rotation, the inner rotation of the left leg, you can grab a pillow or block or blanket, just some type of support, place it underneath. Hopefully that'll be a little more comfortable. Again, that's if you feel discomfort on the inner side of the knee. If you feel discomfort on the outer edge of the left hip, that's not so bad. That's kind of the point of this twist. It's actually early on more of a stretch of the outer left leg rather than our traditional twist. Again, attention comes back to the breathing, back to your reaction, this new position, using the breath to back out of any panic or slight discomfort. You're practicing coping. Your next inhale, Place the soles of the feet on the ground. Knees are facing up towards the ceiling. And we'll take it to the other side. Both legs drop over to the left this time. You might rearrange your pillow this time to support the inner side of the right leg and the right knee. On this side, the outer edge of the left foot, the outer edge, the outer side of the left leg, ankle, shin, knee might reach the ground. And on the right side, the inner edge of the right foot is on the ground. This time, feel gentle stretch on the outer side of the right leg and hip. Try to mellow out the breathing. And perhaps with both legs straight to the side, you felt your right hip pull up away from the ground. See if maybe you can draw it back down towards the ground. And the right knee may rise up away from the floor. That's okay. As long as it doesn't hurt the inside of the right knee, it's okay to be challenged like that. If you do have a cushion, you can, of course, support the inner edge of the right leg with that cushion. All right, knees up to the ceiling, soles of the feet to the ground. Maybe you shake out the hips a little bit, just to relubricate the pelvis, low back. Now, you can choose a challenge here, or you can secure 2 blankets, 2 pillows on either side. I'm going to go into reclined down angle pose. So you bring the 2 soles of your feet together and allow the knees to go apart. So we're in the opposite position as we were first in. You'll feel tense, stretching the outer hip, maybe the groin. And if it is too intense, if you feel piercing, stretching, or pain, slide those pillows underneath to catch the knees. Relax the arms. Feel the weight of the body. Feel the back of the bowl of the pelvis on the ground. And feel the breath traveling down and through the torso and up and out of it. Perhaps if you started with pillows, you can remove them. Perhaps if you started without them, you put the pillows underneath the knees to give your ligaments a little break. It's okay to move here. Maybe bouncing the legs a little bit, just to encourage lubrication and stretching. What we're doing here is allowing gravity to be the force that encourages us to lengthen. So this passive stretching is a nice change in some people's opinions. And wherever you feel a discomfort, again, if it's pain, that's different, back out. But if you feel discomfort and it feel fairly stable, it's a sustainable discomfort. Again, retrain your attention on the breathing. Maybe you guide the inhalations to the points of sensation. So maybe your inhale goes towards the outer hips. And maybe with the exhales, you feel the outer thighs, the knees start to drop towards the floor. And truly micro movements. Take 3 more breaths here in stillness. And then very gingerly, very attentively, you grab onto the outer edges of the legs, start to place the soles of the feet on the floor, creep the feet out away from each other, and reorient the knees up towards the ceiling. You can take that knock knee position. Again, if you want, you can windshield wiper the legs between the 2 positions of the gentle twist we took. And draw the knees into the chest very tightly. Maybe roll up a little, turn a little sideways. I just see my butt right now. And trying to bring the forehead to the knees. Lean very tightly. And then maybe we'll rock up and down. Massaging the spine. And eventually, we'll sit upright. And I'm going to ask you to meet me standing. So take your time, move slowly. You can keep your eyes closed. And then eventually, we'll come to stillness. Let's take the feet hips width distance at the top of the mat. Let's lift up the toes, feel the thighs, the kneecaps, the glutes engage, the whole leg. And then maybe one by one, we try to place the toes down on the ground. It's likely impossible. It's a good challenge. Let's let the hands rest out to the sides, the palms facing forward. And let's allow the chin to hang, feeling the length in the back of the head and the neck. Eyes may be closed. And then we'll start to move. So inhale, sweep the arms up, maybe look up. Exhale, fold over the legs, knees nice and bent. Inhale, hands to shins, straightening and lengthening the back, looking forward. Exhaling, placing the hands, palms on the ground, and stepping first right, and then left to meet in plank. Drawing up through the belly, spreading the shoulder blades across the back, engaging the legs and lifting through the back of the knees, still pressing the floor away with the palms. And breathing in case you weren't. And we'll drop the knees. Keep the seat high and we'll bend the elbows to bring the chest and the chin to the floor, looking forward. Then we'll slide through the hands, coming into little low cobra. The toes are untucked. We're pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, drawing the elbows back and towards one another, the shoulder blades towards one another. Again, we're breathing, and we'll retuck the toes. We'll press into the palms, lift the seat to bring it back to child's pose. And take a breath here. You can stay in child's pose, or you can lift the hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. And maybe you walk out the feet, bending into one leg and then the other. Pressing the palms firmly and broadly into the mat. Trying to make contact with every knuckle. on both hands. And then come to stillness. Drawing up through the belly, hips moving backwards in the space. And then we'll bend the knees, coming up onto the tippy toes, looking forward, and we'll just step up to meet at the front of the mat. Torso between the hands, knees can be very, very bent. And just drape over the torso, shaking the head no, and yes. And then we press into the feet, lift the hands, sweep them all the way up, look up. Inhaling and exhaling, hands to center, down by the sides. Inhaling, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, forward, flat back. Exhale, palms to the ground, step left, then right to plank. Again, drawing up to the belly, spreading the shoulder blades across the back, drawing the shoulders, or the chest through the shoulders, broadening the collarbone, pressing the palms into the mat to push the floor away. Drop the knees, keep the seat lifted, bending the elbows, lower the chest and chin down to the mat, looking forward. Draw the body through those bent arms, little baby cobra, tops of the feet on the mat. Engaging the belly to protect the low back. Breathing. Engaging the knees so they might lift off the ground. Tuck the toes. Send the seat back and maybe up to me and dog. 3 long breaths here. After the 3rd breath, raising up onto the balls of the feet, bending the knees, looking forward. Then we step up to the front of the mat to fold at the front. Press into the feet, sweep the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to center and down by the side. Inhale, arms up. This time, bend the knees, sink the seat down and back, coming into chair pose. So arms can be extended alongside the ears, slightly forward like this. If that feels bad on the shoulders, you can just bring them on the hips. Actually, let's all bring our hands to the hips and just look down. If you can't see your toes, send the hips further back. This is a game of balance as much as strength, because as you shift the seat back, the weight is going to go into the heels and out of the toes. We're drawing up through the belly, feeling the spine lengthen, all the way out through the back of the neck. We're going to bend the knees even more so our torso lays on the thighs, like this. We're going to extend the arms out in front of us. So we're making a table. And the surfaces are back. And the legs are our 2 feet, or our legs. We'll press into the feet and just come up, stretching out the front of the legs. Sweep the arms up. Sink into your chair again. Maybe you try the outstretched arms this time. Grab opposite elbows and pull those elbows forward. Maybe you feel more length out through the low back and pelvis. Again, drawing up through the belly, but still sinking the hips down, back, and extend the arms. Grab opposite elbows again, so the other arm is on top. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Extending arms out, and let's lay the torso on the thighs, which are probably starting to burn. Hips are going back, hands and fingers are going forward. And let's fold over the legs. Bending the knees, maybe shaking out the hips. Let's press into the palms and walk the feet halfway down the mat behind us. So we're in a very short dog. And we can have nice bent legs, and let's have the feet as wide as the mat. So you should feel a nice stretch down the hamstrings, the backs of the legs, as well as the outer sides of the legs. And a little movement will lubricate the pelvis and the hip bones. Press into the left palm. Practice lifting up the right. Press into the right palm, lift the left finger. Press the left palm to the mat again, and this time reach back towards the outside of the left ankle with the right arm. Getting a nice gentle twist, look under your left armpit. So pressing through the left palm on the ground and pulling the left ankle towards you with the right hand. Untwisting, replacing the right palm in line with the left. And we'll inhale and stretch the left hand to reach the outside of the right ankle. Looking under our right armpit, pressing into the right palm, working to shift both hips back evenly. And we'll replace the left palm next to the right. Walk the hands back towards the feet. And we're in a wider forward fold. And we'll press into the feet, sweep the arms up. Inhale, and exhale, hands to the center, down by the sides. Up here, let's walk to the middle of the mat. We're going to step the feet out about as wide as where our wrists are. So look down at the ankles, see if you can line those up with the points of your wrists, but on the floor. The knees can be nice and bent. It all depends on how your body is feeling today in this period of your life. We're going to try to straighten the legs. And as you do that, try to maintain that outward rotation in the whole leg, rather than allowing the knees to drop in. So looking forward, trying to avoid this, want something more like this instead. Okay? So the knees are really facing the same direction as the ankles, which is forward. So let's bring the arms out, nice T shape. We're going to turn the toes outward as well. And we'll bend the knees. So we're coming into goddess pose, or just divine being pose. And you can have the hands rest on the thighs. And we'll just kind of sway back and forth, warming up those outer hips. And take a look at the knees. You want the inner line of the thighs to be in the same direction as the inner line of your feet. So you want to be able to, again, see the toes on the inside. So looking at your right thigh, you want to see the right toes on the left side of the right knee. Confusing, right? Let's just make sure that we're not dumping into the knees. We want the knees going out away. So maybe we find some stillness here. And maybe the hips drop a couple inches lower. Whew. And maybe we lift the arms up into this cactus arm position. And let's take stock of where our shoulders are. Maybe they need to move back in space. Encourage you to line the head, the shoulders, and the pelvis in one line. Breathing. Thighs are burning. And press into the feet. Extend everything up and out. I'm going to come back on the mat so I don't slide, but joining me here, the star pose, we're going to bend the knees, fold over the legs, into a wide-legged forward fold. So toes are still facing forward, and we're just kind of working our head in the direction of the mat. Taking a few breaths to relax as much as possible into these poses. We'll bend the knees. We'll walk the hands out underneath the face, under the shoulders. We'll press the palm in the middle of the face on the ground, underneath the face in the middle of the ground. Sweep the right arm up. Another twist to open. Working both hips back, trying to keep them both pointing down towards the floor. So maybe you rest the palm on the back of the pelvis. In theory, this should be flat. We're trying to stack the shoulders, the right on top of the left. Drawing in through the belly to encourage the twist. Drawing up through the knees so we're not caving in. And we rotate to the other side. So right palm under the face on the floor, press through it and extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. Left shoulder stacks over right. Trying to encourage the collarbones to broaden. Reaching up through the left fingertips. Engaging through the kneecaps. Lifting out of the arches of the feet. And down through center. Bend the knees, hands to the hips. Press into the feet and we're upright. At the top of the mat, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, bend the knees. We're going to shift the weight into our left foot. We're going to come up onto the ball of the foot on the right foot. Let's bring the arms down by our sides, hands on the hips. We're just going to lift the left or the right foot up in the air. Start to rotate it outward and cross it across the left thigh, coming into a figure 4 stretch. So the sole of the right foot is facing left. We're trying to rotate the right thigh to the right. Still trying to sink the hips back and down, like when we were in regular chair. Still trying to guide the belly in, which is not easy. Still trying to feel long in the back and neck. And maybe the arms extend out. Take one more breath. And exhale, we'll come up. Catch some air here, just balancing. Maybe look up. And replace the foot on the ground. Shake it out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Sink back into chair. Weight to the right sole of the foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Lift up the left leg. And we cross it. Right ankle over the right, left ankle over the right thigh. Figure 4. The other side. Again, hands can have stayed out in front, or they can come back to the hips. It's okay. Sole of the left foot faces right. And this time we're working to rotate the left leg and the left knee outward to the left. Shifting the hips down and back. Engaging the belly. Neck and spine are long. Breath. We're trying for it not to be so shallow. Might not come naturally. And maybe we try to extend the arms out if they weren't. Pressing into the foot, catch air, bouncing on the right foot. Look up. And release. Shake it out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Hang here for a second. And stretch out the low back. Hands to shins. Long back, after lift. Exhale, fold, replace the palm, step the right foot back. We'll come into a runner's lunge. So a low lunge. We're just going to shift forward and back, flexing into the left foot as we straighten the left leg. So when we're forward, we look forward, bent left knee, straighten right leg, right knee's off the floor. We exhale, we rock backwards, the hips go backwards, both legs straighten as much as we can. The floor might be really far away. So maybe your stack of books or your blocks, bring it closer. Either way, we're just stretching the front side of the right hip now, and the back side of the left leg, the hamstrings. Let's do this 3 more times. Front and back, front, back, front, back, front, back. Come forward again. So you already have, you're already on the ball of the right foot. So if you had blocks or books, I'm just going to clear them out of the way. We're going to draw the 2 thighs together like a scissoring action. Sweep the arms back behind you. Woohoo! So we're using the strength of both legs to support elevating the body. Trying to have a nice long torso, flat back. Drawing the shoulder blades together across the back. And sweep the arms up overhead, coming into a high crescent lunge. So you might bend the back knee and step it in a little bit. You might also bring the 2 feet on 2 separate tracks rather than on one single one. This might stabilize you. So here we're drawing the belly in, trying to bend into the front knee, which is the left knee. We're trying to scissor the 2 legs so the hips face forward. And we'll open outward, coming to warrior 2, gazes over the left palm in front of you, or left hand. The hips are broadening to the right, as are the shoulders and collarbones. Shoulder blades on the back are drawing together. And the shoulders and the head are over the pelvis. Gaze is soft. Trying to slow down the breath if it's sped up, shallow it out. And we'll straighten the front knee. Lower the right hand back towards the right leg. Extend the left arm up. Be nice side stretch on the left side. We'll bend forward, coming to warrior 2 again. Sweep the right arm to turn the hips forward, coming onto the ball of the right foot. Sweep the arms down, plant the palms, step the left foot to meet the right and back in our plank. 3 breaths here, pressing the floor away. Legs are engaged. Shoulder blades are broad across the back. And we'll lower all the way down to the mat, trying to stay straight in the whole body, bending the knee, or bending the elbows. And we'll meet on the belly, finding our low cobra. The elbows draw towards one another on the back. Rather than out, we want to tuck back. Maybe you lift up a little more. Engaging the belly, pressing the tops of the feet. Kneecaps are engaged. Lower back down, tuck the toes, seat goes back to child's pose, and hips up and back, down dog. 3 breaths here. Pressing into the palms. Hips are lifting up and back. And one more. And the knees looking forward. Step, step, step up to the front of the mat into your forward fold. Pressing to the feet, sweep the arms up. Hands to center, down by the sides. Let's close the eyes here. Take a few centering breaths, trying to slow the pace of the breath down. Maybe open the eyes, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to step the left foot back now. So if you like to, you can grab your blocks, stacks of books. Just going to ease through a couple of cycles. That low runner's lunge. And flexing back through the right legs straightened, toes of the right foot come back towards the face. So stretching the front side of the left hip, and then stretching through the back side of the right leg. Let's keep this nice and mobile. Try and keep a long back as we do it. And then we'll pause in the low lunge. And maybe you tuck the blocks or books out of the way. You engage through the legs. Maybe you walk the hands up onto the thigh, and then you meet me in crescent lunge. Back knee can be bent, so you tilt the hips forward and down, engaging up to the belly. Breathing as you inhale, the spine lengthens. As you exhale, maybe you can sink further into the bent right knee. And we'll exhale, open to the left, coming to warrior two. Gaze now over the right hand in front of you. Take a look down at the right knee. Just as when we were in goddess pose, let's make sure that the right knee is tracking towards the outside of the right toe below it.
Sure, yeah, kind of what I was
pressing through the outer edge of the left foot behind you.
I'll just make some
and let's straighten the right leg. Right hand goes up, left hand rests on the leg behind you. Nice stretch.
Yeah, perfect.
On the right side.
Perfect.
Bend back through the right knee, coming to warrior two.
I think the report said.
Breath here. And scooting back on to the ball of the left foot. Sweeping up, crescent lunge.
No, it's kind of back
by
the loading dock. There's like that one.
And replace the palms on the ground. Step the right foot back to meet the left and plank. 3 breaths here.
Back over there.
Pressing the floor away. Belly in. Shoulder blades are spread across the back. And let's bend into the elbows and guide the whole body slowly down to the floor. And meet on our bellies. Untuck the toes, press the palms in to the floor and lift the chest up. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Lower the face, chest. Reach up the toes, press the torso, the hips, the seat back. And meet in down dog.
Okay. Yep.
3 long, slow breaths. Calming things down. Maybe you shake the head yes and no again to encourage neck to loosen up.
Yeah.
Still pressing through the whole palm of both hands.
Yeah, let's plan for 8:30 then. All right, thanks.
Coming up onto the chippy toes, bending the knees, looking forward, and we'll meet at the front of the mat and forward fold. Do 1 halfway lift. Fold again. So here, maybe you walk the feet out a little further away from one another. So they're even a little wider than your hips. And maybe you grab your peace fingers around the 2 big toes. The thumb presses down on your big toe nail. And the knees can be nice and bent, but all you're gonna do is extend the chest forward. And then bending the elbows, draw the torso down and the head down towards the floor. Continuing to pull the torso down with the strength of the arms. And as you do this, work to keep the shoulders away from the ears. So don't scrunch them up. I probably can't see this in my shirt, but still want to use the shoulder blades to draw the shoulders down the back. Breathing, and maybe on the exhale you feel the hips give a little more. We'll release the fingers and just meet me seated down on the mat, coming onto the seat. I'm going to have you meet me. This time we're in seated bound ankle pose. Looks like butterfly pose from 3-year-old dance class. So the soles of the feet are together, drawing the feet towards the groin as much as you can. And if your knees are lifted off the ground like mine are, you can leave them hovering like that if it doesn't hurt the inside of the knees. But if it does, you can put those stacks of books, your blocks, or your pillows underneath them to support. And if you can, you're going to grab anywhere on your legs. That might be your shins, might be your ankles, or the soles of the feet. And you're going to extend the spine just long, upright. Trying to spread the collarbones. Maybe you tuck the chin down towards the breastbone. And feel all the way from the root, the two bony parts on your pelvis and on the floor, all the way up through the spine and the top of the head, one long line. You can stay like this, or you can begin to shift the torso and the spine forward. And this will draw you deeper into the hip stretch. Just looking out over the nose, gaze is super soft. Maybe you close the eyes so you're not distracted by anything around you. And if the elbows are bent and making contact with the legs, you might push the legs away with the elbows. Refocusing the breath, want the attention on the breath. You can keep the arms and the hands on the legs or ankles or shins, or you can extend them out in front of you. You might feel the spine rounding a bit. That's great. Just allowing gravity to pull on the head and the arms to draw the whole body closer to the ground, and folding over the legs and the feet. Take 3 long breaths. And then to back out, if your arms are in front of you, just slowly walk them back and slowly sit upright. Close the eyes for a moment. Can reconnect with that long stacked spine. Pelvis rooted, belly engaged, the vertebra stacking. The shoulders over the pelvis. Chin tucked and the crown of the head continuing the line of the spine. Gather the knees in towards one another. And I'm going to have you come to kneeling. So we'll stretch out front of the hips a little bit. I'm going to have you walk the knees towards one another. And you can have the feet separate behind you. And you can either sit the bum down between them, or if that's too much, grab your pillow or your block and you sit on it to elevate the hips. And if you're elevated, maybe you're able to walk the feet in towards the midline a little bit more. And we just sit. So now we're counteracting that outward rotation that we've been working with for most of the class with an inner rotation. So stay seated where you are. I'm just going to remove this block so I can get a little more sensation. And again, maybe you close your eyes to focus the attention, but see where in space your shoulders are. See if you can relocate them so they're back over the hips. And note how that changes the sensation in the legs. We're drawing in through the belly, So you feel lift in the chest. So you're not just dumping into the hips. You can stay here like this, or if you'd like a little more, you can start to walk, hands behind you. You can stay like this, or you can bend into one elbow and then the other. So same leg position, just reclined. And if you are on the elbows, press in and out of them. So you're lifting up through the chest, stretching across the collarbones. You can keep the chin tucked in. You can stay here, or you can release the back down to the mat. And this might come in several steps. We're working, despite having a slight curve, natural curve in the low back, we're working to have a long spine. If this is uncomfortable, back out, come back onto the forearms, come back onto the palms, come back to seated, completely upright. I'm liking staying like this right now because this is a super stretch on the tops of my feet. Whew. Since I'm sitting all day, apparently my feet aren't getting any stretch anymore. So wherever you are, let it be at the point where you feel sensation, where you feel a challenge, but you have not passed the threshold into the pain zone. Don't want that. Maybe you want a little bit of uncertainty. Can I deal with this? How long is this going to last? It'll probably be okay. If it starts to feel not okay, you will know. And I'll take 3 more breaths at that point. Before that point. I don't need to confuse. And if you recline at all, just be very gentle backing out and try and lead with your chest. And we'll meet those who are seated, back upright, chin tucked, neck long, breath long. Next, we'll extend the right leg out long in front of us. Whew. Moving slowly. And again, maybe the hips, the 2 points of the pelvis are anchored into the floor. Maybe you need the support of a block or a pillow underneath you. But do support yourself so your hips are on the same plane. And you may stay seated here upright. So we're still working with the inward rotation of the left leg, but now we're working into the hamstring of the right leg. Or you might start to walk the torso forward towards the right foot, keeping a nice long back. Flexing the toes, right foot towards the face. And maybe you allow the back to round over both thighs. Try to engage through the right leg. Drawing the toes back towards the face, engaging through the kneecap. Checking back in with the hips. Are they both on the floor or on the surface below them if you're supported? 3 more breaths. And we'll back out. And I'll place the right palm behind us. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to swap out the legs. So we'll come through a thunderbolt pose again, but extend the left leg long in front of us. Right foot is tucked alongside the right thigh. Looking down our knees, they're in line. The right leg is rotated inward towards the left. Both hips are on a surface, the same surface. Toes of the left foot are flexed back towards the face. We engage the left leg, drawing the kneecap towards us as well. And maybe we start to tilt the torso forward. Maybe we walk the hands forward towards the left foot. Spend some time with a long spine. Maybe 5 breaths with a long spine before you relax into a rounded spine. Just a reminder to re-engage the muscles of the left leg. Draw the toes of the left foot back towards the face. And slowly back to upright. And we'll just come up to kneeling. Sitting upright. So looking down, knees are underneath the hips. Looking back, the feet are in line behind the knees. And you can stay upright like this, or you can walk the hands onto the back, turn sideways so you can see. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another, engaging through the belly, pressing the hips, the pelvis forward, engaging the glutes. And maybe we just start to rock back. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. We don't let the head rock back like this. And then shifting forward. You can do that a few more times, or you can tuck the toes backwards and maybe we go into Camel Pose. So again, leading with the chest up towards the ceiling, pushing the hips, the pelvis forward. And maybe we stay just like this, looking at the ceiling. Maybe the hands find the heels. And if they find the heels, again, drawing up out of the feet, leading with the chest, pressing the pelvis forward, engaging the belly, breathing. Luckily, you don't have to talk right now. And when you're ready, tuck the chin. Coming back to kneeling, untuck the toes, sit back. Let the palms rest on the knees, chin towards the chest, gaze is soft. 10 breaths here. Just to recalibrate. I'm going to short you on your 10 breaths. Just come to seated. We're going to do one more pose before I leave you in Shavasana. And similar to our butterfly pose, we're going to try double pigeon. Sounds intense. So to make sure it's not super intense, grab all your pillows. So we'll start with the left shin on the ground. And we're going to cross the shin in front of us. We're going to put a nice pillow on top of it. We're going to put a pillow underneath it. So we have the shin and the outer left thigh supported by the pillow. And keeping the right leg bent, we're just going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So we're just taking that figure 4 chair on the ground. And you can see I have, maybe 9 inches of space between my right knee and my left ankle. I'm going to put a pillow there to support it. Again, this is just to make sure we don't feel any of that stinging, piercing pain on the inner edges of our knees. So Same as when we were seated with the internal rotation, sitting back on our feet. I'm going to draw the shoulders back over the pelvis, lengthening the neck by slightly tucking the chin. And just breathing. See if we can feel both of the thighs rotating outward. As you breathe, maybe you start to feel the legs and its ligaments relaxing. The more discomfort you feel, the more you're going to panic and want to rush out of this. See if you can distract yourself by maybe counting the breath in and out. And maybe you can direct each inhalation to that point of sensation in the body. As if it's saying, it's actually okay, you're growing, this will be good for you. So you can stay on this side as long as you like, or we can swap over to the next because we are out of time. So this time, right shin is on the ground. I'm drawing, I didn't say it's on the other side, I apologize, but the right ankle is more or less in line with the right knee, parallel to the short edge in front of the mat. And we bend the left leg, cross the right ankle, or the left ankle over the right thigh. So you can stay with space under here between the right ankle and the hovering left knee, unless it hurts. If it hurts, pillow. Good stuff. Drawing both hips back and trying to draw the chest out of the hips. Again, bring the attention back to the breath, if that's helpful. Probably will be. Check in with what's going on with the low back. Maybe we need to encourage the abdomen to draw in towards the spine so we're not dumping the weight into the low back. Draw everything back and up. Chin is tucked. Long stacked spine up through the crown of the head. Let's take 3 more long breaths. Sending each to the points of physical sensation in the body. And after that last breath, if you want it to be your last on this side, gently back out of the pigeon. And we will meet where we began. So if you have the pillows and you liked it, scoot those underneath the thighs so you have nice bent knees. And we'll just recline, laying back. Arms nice and wide, legs nice and wide and bent. How do we feel now? How do we sense the effect of gravity on our bones, on our muscles, on our ligaments, our organs, fluids, fats? How's the feeling of our body touching the ground beneath us? And zooming in, what's going on with the breath now? Maybe it's just happening super smooth and naturally. And with the manipulation of the hips that we practiced today, do we feel more openness? Do we feel a bit more grounded as we recline? Was it a good challenge? Is it something you'll want to do again? Is it something you will do again, even if you don't want to? And now just bring the attention back to the breathing. In and out. Please stay reclined as long as you want. So it's really not long enough, but the hour-long window has long expired. So thank you for tuning in, Northeastern Spiritual Life. I'm really happy that we get to participate. Maybe one day soon, I'll see you in person. Thanks again, and have a lovely, lovely rest of the day or night. And maybe I'll see you next week. Namaste.